more than likely, like, he probably did some rage violent stuff in front of kids. So if there's any witnesses or any kind of like patterns that you can prove patterns, that's when it really gets dicey. So, and that's what it really has to come down to, unfortunately, is that in the court of law, you have to bring facts, right? And
Yeah.
witnesses.
And I guess to your point, right, there is this clip from the show, and we all thought it was so innocent, or I mean, hindsight's 2020. I guess now,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess he didn't really mean I'm gonna crush your hand, but he did. I mean, he said those words.
Yeah. And again, men that don't intend to do violent things don't
Right.
use violent words.
Right. Like it's a strange thing to say out
Just
of clear.
saying.
No, I mean, you
I
have a point. You
mean,
have a really good point there. I mean, to your question, do I think he'll, well, I guess what? If he doesn't show up, then the temporary restraining order could still be in effect,
or
sure.
extended,
Or
right?
extended, sure.
Yeah.
I guess if you're, I don't know, to showing up mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm just the type that, look, I think if it's not
I
true
just can
at
see some
all,
alpha men weirdly flipping it that like showing up admits guilt. And I'm so not guilty that I'm not even going to show up. And so I could somehow weirdly in my betting gambling lawyer brain see him being that kind of, I don't know why. That's just what this smells like.
and I also don't know just because, I mean, I certainly didn't practice this kind of law and I haven't practiced
Yeah.
any kind of law in decades. But is that because, like, if you have a case against someone, like if someone sued me and I showed up and they weren't there, it would probably get discontinued. Like, eventually, if the person never shows up, you win the case by default. So
Yeah.
I wonder with a, I don't know, with like a restraining order, if the person's not there, is it just granted? Is it, I mean,
Yeah.
that, I wonder if it just ends up being on your side. Like, I don't think you can just not show up. I'm just
Yeah. Yeah.
thinking
Yeah.
like it out loud. But it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
really interesting that it's
Yeah.
so opposite at this point of like, I did not do this versus, I mean, that's crazy.
He's literal. He said, she said.
hmm So that kind of makes me, and like, look, we're all looking back now. Now we're looking to like, by the way, in Teddy Mellencamp, she warned us all. There is this
Mm,
clip that's resurfaced from that same thing when they walked out, where Teddy did a confessional, and I mean, I'm just mincing the words because I don't have it right in front of me, but where Teddy was like, "I'm sorry, sir. Like, who are you to speak to a woman this way and grab her away?" And I don't think so. This
yeah.
is something's here, and I don't like what I see, and you're an
Yeah.
asshole. So Teddy Mellencamp did try to warn us. I got to give her credit where credit's due.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, and this is where like my semi-feminist brain just starts adding things in terms of how little in terms of the lifetime of humanity women actually having rights is. And so like, with it, I know it was in my mom's lifetime that like it became illegal for like husbands to beat their wives. So like we're still dealing with men that grew up in households where at that time it was still legal to beat your wife and like things were kept, things behind closed doors were behind closed doors. And so it's just interesting, right? We're in a time right now where like gender wars or gender kind of like exchanges, I think of just the historical aspect of just how new a lot of this is in terms of like women having bank accounts, women having rights, women not, having a legal right to not being beat up by their husbands. So it's just interesting. I also have that lens on too sometimes when I see these cases.
And yes, and also, to me, it's like, I mean, look, this is what we went through with Taylor Armstrong, but it is weird. Like, if you think about it, like, if this is going on now, you signed up not only for Beverly Hills, you signed up to film your own reality show. Now, that's not what the reality show was. It was
Of
lightly
course.
scripted and fun, but, also, like, what do the daughters think? What does Charlie Sheen think about this? That is what I would like to know. I mean, listen, Charlie Sheen has a book coming out in September, and there's a book signing I think I'm going to go to, believe it or not. But
Ooh.
it's like it's in September, I believe September. And so, like, look, you are going to do press for this book. I don't
Yeah.
mean David Yontez podcast. I mean, Good Morning America. You are going to
Yeah.
be all over doing press. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Is this going to be off limits? Because somebody's going to want to.
Somebody's gonna bring it up.
Yeah. I mean, Leighton Meester had a show come out like a month ago. I forgot if it was on Hulu or something. She was in a show, and it's like, I'm sure on the number one is like you cannot ask one single question about Blake Lively, period,
Exactly.
dot. So I just
Yeah.
wonder if this is going to be off limits. But I want to know what Charlie Sheen thinks. What are his thoughts on this?
If he cares about his family at all, he doesn't want the mother of his children to be hurt,
No,
you know? And if he is doing well and if he is present and sober, he's probably not very happy about this.
no, he's probably not. Um, so
It's
I
just
don't know.
sad. It's sad all around. And if you're a woman and you're experiencing, an abusive situation, you can get out, you can get help. There's help for everybody. It took me a minute to figure it out, but I got out and you can too.
Well, I'm glad you got out, and
Thank you.
we'll have to have you back on as this particular case unfolds because this is going to be,
Yes.
I think this is going to be a big thing.
No, and thank you
Yeah.
because you approached it in a gentle way. And there's another podcast that I was on recently talking about the Diddy trial and all these things. It's almost like aversion therapy in a weird way to like talk about these things. And so thank you for approaching it in a gentle but also fair-minded way because I think being incendiary about it doesn't help. And so I appreciate your kind of calm head approach about it. So thank you.
I feel I really don't have a personal stake in any of this. People think I hate this one, I hate that one. We're going to move into Tamra Judge. People think I hate
Sure.
her. I don't hate her. She hates me. There is a difference.
By the way, you
I
are one of the kindest, most generous people that I have met in this industry. And I know that, like, there's other people that might not feel that way, but I just also wanted to give a little testimony that you're like a Sour Patch Kid. There is like salty exterior, but you're so gooey on the inside. So I just wanted you to know that.
Well, thank you. You know, someone said this the other day. I don't know where I heard this, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm adopting this. Someone said, I match energy, period. That
Yes.
is what I do. I'm a Gemini.
Yes.
I match energy.
It was Tamara.
Right. I will never make myself smaller. If I've said this, I don't get mad at people. If someone gets mad at me and is now mad at me for also things that they've done, I am
Yeah.
not going to make myself the small sub bitch and grovel for your whatever because you're mad at me. You should not be. You can be, but you're now getting madder that I'm not groveling like a sub bitch, and now we're done. I mean, because I am not going to put myself at that. I'm not mad, but if you were mad at me, then I mean, I'm not going to grovel for a place
Yeah.
in your life. So I do match energy,
Period.
period, dot. But thank you for saying I am a sweet
Yeah.
person.
So
Um,
now the rat that
the
scurries.
rat that scurries, she's here. And is she, I don't know, is this a fake attempt at redemption, a fake attempt at therapy, the tears, or is as we watch the OC this season, or is Tamra? Listen, I don't want to sway you. I don't want to sway you. You know, is Tamra really learning and working things out in therapy? You could don't agree with me.
So so I have yeah, it's just funny. This is where like I can kind of like how crass do I want to be?
You can
Um
be as crass as you want.
a good friend of mine, Keith Malley, grew up in the scene in the 90s in New York, and there was like underground shows, and he used to play a game called Tears or Tits, and like a performer would either break down in tears or pull out her tatas. And my brain goes to tears or tism with Tamra. She's either pulling out the tism or the tears as like a reason to be okay with like being awkward and inappropriate and like not getting your shit together. And like I get it. I am a late in life neurospicy person. I found out in my 40s that I have ADD, but I use it to inform my way through spirals and processes so that I don't show up as a shitty person. I don't use it to excuse any potential shittiness. I actually try to be a better person in community, understanding that other people